I never thought that one day, the person I loved the most would be the one to destroy my life. Daniel Carter, the man I had been with for 13 years, the man I once believed was the foundation of our family, betrayed me in a way I could never have imagined. It all started on a cold March afternoon in Seattle. My mother, Eleanor Montgomery, the strongest woman I had ever known, had just been hospitalized after suffering a sudden stroke. My mother was in a coma, lying in the intensive care unit. I spent all my time by her bedside, holding her hand, hoping she would open her eyes. I had no idea that while I was painfully waiting for my mother to wake up, my husband was secretly planning to steal everything I owned. #### the first signs of betrayal. At the time, I didn't notice anything unusual. But now, looking back, all the signs were there, I just didn't see them. Daniel started leaving the house earlier than usual, making excuses about having important work at the office. He began receiving mysterious phone calls late at night, always stepping out of the room whenever his phone rang. I once asked him, "Daniel, you seem stressed lately. Is everything okay?" He just smiled and rubbed his hand on my back. "It's nothing, love. Just work." And I believed him, because I never thought that the man I had built my life with could betray me like this. That morning, I woke up early to go to the hospital to see my mother. I rushed out of the house without realizing that Daniel had not slept in bed with me the night before. I also didn't notice that his closet was much emptier than usual. I only cared about my mother, and that was my biggest mistake. After a long day at the hospital, I decided to stop by the grocery store to pick up a few essentials. When I reached the checkout counter, I swiped my card, and the unthinkable happened. My credit card was declined. I tried again. Declined. I frowned, my heart starting to pound faster. I opened my banking app to check my account balance. And at that very moment, my heart nearly stopped. My bank account had exactly $12.78 left. I couldn't believe my eyes. Millions of dollars in my account gone. Completely gone. Panic set in as my hands trembled, dialing Daniel's number. But instead of his familiar voice, I was met with an automated message. "The number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Please try again later." I tried again, and again, but he was gone. I rushed home, unlocking the door in a frantic daze. And the moment I stepped inside, I knew everything had changed. No sign of Daniel's suitcases. No laptop. No personal belongings. He was gone, and he left me in complete shock. On the kitchen counter, there was a folded piece of paper. I shakily opened it. "Claire, I'm sorry I couldn't say goodbye in person. I've done a lot of thinking about my life, and I've realized I want a fresh start. I know you'll be angry, but you'll be fine. You've always been strong. Don't try to find me. Let me go. I wish you happiness." And right below that letter, there was a torn flight ticket. Destination: Buenos Aires, Argentina. One way. Booked for 2 people. He hadn't just taken all my money. He had betrayed me and run away with another woman. As I tried to collect myself, I opened my email. A flood of notifications appeared. The family business, sold. The house I grew up in, gone. Every asset that Daniel and I owned together, transferred. Everything was gone. All that remained was me, left with nothing. He had sold everything that belonged to my family while I was at the hospital taking care of my mother. I had been betrayed in the most brutal way possible. But Daniel had made a grave mistake. He thought I would break. He thought I would cry and accept my fate. He underestimated me. And I would show him no one could take everything from me without paying the price. I would take it all back. And Daniel Carter would regret betraying me. He thought he had escaped, but he had no idea that I was ready to fight back. I had been betrayed, stripped of everything while grieving for my mother in the ICU. But I was not the kind of woman to crumble easily. Daniel Carter thought he had vanished, that I would never catch up. But he had made a fatal error. He forgot that I was not just a devoted wife. I was the daughter of Eleanor Montgomery, a woman who never let anyone take what was hers without a fight. And I would do whatever it took to get justice. #### tracking Daniel. The beginning of my revenge. After the initial shock and pain faded, my mind became clearer. Daniel had disappeared, but he wasn't a ghost. He had left behind a trail, and I was going to find him. I opened my laptop and logged into the bank account that had been wiped clean. Even though he had taken all the money, I still had one thing that could help me track him: transaction history. And just as I suspected, he couldn't erase his tracks completely. A week before he vanished, Daniel had made a series of large transactions, transferred all the money from our joint account into an anonymous offshore account, purchased a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires, Argentina, booked a luxury hotel in the city center. Did he really think he could steal my money and live a lavish life with his mistress? No, it wouldn't be that easy. I picked up my phone and called the one person who could help me right now: Jack Donovan. #### Jack Donovan. My trump card. Jack wasn't just my best friend from college. He was also an extremely skilled private investigator. If anyone could track down Daniel and make him pay, it was Jack. Less than 2 minutes into my story, I heard him sigh on the other end of the line. Jack ***, Claire, that bastard really did this to you? Are you sure you want to go after him? This could turn into a long legal battle. ***. I didn't hesitate for even a second. Me ***, I don't care how long it takes. He took everything from me, and I won't let him get away with it. ***. Jack was silent for a moment, then chuckled lightly. Jack ***, all right then. We'll hunt him down. But first you need to be ready. This won't be easy. ***. Jack got to work immediately. He had connections that could help us track Daniel without involving the police. Here's what we uncovered within 48 hours. Daniel had arrived in Buenos Aires right after leaving the U.S. He wasn't alone, he was with a younger woman named Isabella Torres. They had checked into a 5-star hotel and were spending extravagantly using the money he stole from me. But there was one thing Daniel didn't anticipate. I wasn't just a betrayed wife. I was also the legal co-owner of the company and assets he had fraudulently sold. And I had the legal right to sue him. I didn't need him to come back and face me. I would make sure he was hunted down so relentlessly that he wouldn't be able to live in peace for even a single day. I contacted the best lawyer I had and began my counterattack. The counterattack begins: dragging Daniel back from hell ***. Step 1. Freezing his accounts ***. I filed an urgent request with the bank and provided evidence of fraudulent transactions. The result? Daniel's accounts were frozen ***. He no longer had a single dollar to spend. And Isabella? She would soon realize that Daniel wasn't the wealthy man she thought he was. Step 2. Filing an international lawsuit ***. I worked with my lawyers to file a lawsuit in the U.S. and requested intervention from Argentine authorities. Daniel couldn't run forever. He might have been in Buenos Aires, but the law had ways to drag him back home to face justice. Step 3. Publicly exposing Daniel ***. I sent all the details of his fraud to the media. Within a week, the name Daniel Carter was plastered across financial news headlines. He was no longer a respected businessman. He was a thief, a traitor, and a fugitive. I had destroyed his reputation ***, and that was just the beginning. Daniel panics. He knows I'm closing in. Less than a week later, Jack received an update from his sources. Daniel had fled from his luxury hotel ***. He had no more money, no place to stay, and most importantly, ***, he was starting to feel the pressure of being hunted ***. And Isabella? She left him the moment she realized Daniel had no money left. So Daniel, did you really think you could live happily with your mistress? I wanted him to feel what it was like to lose everything. I wanted him to understand that no one could take everything from me without consequences. And I was not done yet. I would chase him to the ends of the earth. I would not stop until he stood in court convicted for everything he had done. And most importantly, I would take back everything that belonged to me. This battle was just beginning. Daniel thought he could escape, but I would show him how wrong he was. Very wrong. Do you think Claire made the right move? What would you have done? Leave a comment below. Like and share if you believe that cheaters should never be forgiven. Daniel Carter thought he could escape. He thought I would just cry, break down, and give up. He thought I would never be strong enough to fight back. But he was wrong. I was not a woman who could be easily defeated. He took everything from me, but now I would take it all back. And this time there would be no way out for him. Jack continued tracking Daniel and delivered an important update. Jack, he is cornered. Claire, no money, no mistress. He is trying to flee Argentina. That was exactly what I had been waiting for. He had no other choice but to make a mistake. And he did exactly that. After a week of wandering homeless, an abandoned Daniel tried to book a flight to Panama using a fake identity. But what he did not know was that I had reported his passport as stolen and requested Interpol to flag him. When he arrived at the airport, Argentine authorities were already waiting for him. Daniel Carter was arrested at the departure gate. And that was just the beginning of his downfall. He was extradited back to the US within 10 days of his arrest. I had everything ready: evidence, financial records, fraudulent transactions. My lawyers were waiting to file criminal charges against him. Daniel's charges: financial fraud, embezzlement, forgery. He was facing up to 15 years in prison if convicted on all counts. But that was not enough for me. I wanted him to feel the weight of losing everything just like he had done to me. On the first day of trial, I saw him for the first time in months. Daniel no longer looked like the confident, wealthy man he once was. He was pale, anxious, and most importantly, he knew that this time he could not escape. My lawyer stood up and presented the evidence. I laid out every fraudulent transaction, every forged document used to sell my assets, every message he sent to Isabella boasting about his new life in Brazil, leaving me behind. He had no defense. The jury looked at him with disgust. And when his lawyer tried to argue in his favor, I stood up and said the only thing that mattered. Daniel Carter betrayed me, betrayed my family, and tried to run away with everything I had, but today I am not here as a victim, I am here to take back justice. The courtroom fell silent. And just hours later, Daniel was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He would never have the chance to hurt anyone else again. Thanks to the lawsuit, I recovered the assets he had stolen. I rebuilt my company stronger than ever. I used the stolen money he had left behind to donate to organizations helping women affected by financial fraud and abuse. I did not just reclaim what was mine, I turned my pain into power. And most importantly, I did not let him win. Daniel thought he could control my fate, but in the end I was the one who took control of my story. He was ruined, and I had won. 1. Never let anyone control your life. 2. When betrayed, you can choose to break down or rise stronger. 3. Justice does not always come immediately, but if you fight for it, you will win. 4. No one can take what belongs to you if you are strong enough to defend it. 5. Women are not weak, we are warriors. What do you think about the story? If you were Claire, what would you have done? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Like and share if you believe that cheaters must pay for their actions. Justice does not come from silence, it comes from those who dare to fight back.